Is this what a midlife crisis feels like? I'm stuck between desperately wanting to get on TikTok and learn how to dance, but at the same time, I'm using an AirTag as a keychain and dyeing my hair blonde every 6 to 8 weeks. Come with me on a little hike today where I'm going to talk about my midlife crisis. I'm actually traveling right now. I'm just outside of Buffalo, Wyoming. I'm headed up to Bozeman, Montana to lead a group trip in Yellowstone National Park. I thought I'd break up the drive today and go check out this petrified forest. So evidently, to get to the forest, you have to walk through the prairie. So that's what I'm doing right now, and looking out for rattlesnakes, because I bet they're around. In July, I turned 45. And it was like, welcome to 45, where everything is just gonna feel weird. And it does. Because I realized I'm like halfway to 90. And that's a wild thought. I'm like, remember when 30 years old seemed really old? And remember those teachers I had in high school that were in their early 40s and it seemed like they were in their 60s or 70s? And remember when I could actually disconnect from life because I didn't have a computer in my pocket? All right, I'm stopped here. There's supposed to be some rocks. Clinker or bed dog? Okay, rocks. Onward. I'm also remembering when I was a teenager and I could eat like half a pizza without having a cheese hangover the next day. So yeah, I've been feeling the 40s for, I don't know, 5 years now, and it's just not getting any better. Now I'm Googling things like, how can I melt belly fat without working out? But for real, I'm wrestling with these big 40-year-old feelings, and I'm gonna just keep wrestling with them as I walk down this trail that's not really my kind of trail, because it's just a small path through the prairie. But I'm here and I'm gonna keep going. My legs are getting itchy and I wish I was wearing pants. All right, there's some trees. I don't see any trees, but maybe at one point there were trees here. I'm sure there were, because the sign said so. Let's keep walking. So here's why I think I'm having a bit of a midlife crisis in my mid-40s. I think it's because my 40s have been a little bit weird. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 42. I finished treatment when I was 43. So that was like a super fun year. And then coming out of treatment, I made a huge career change. Sold my outdoor retail store, sold my ski shop, and now I've been like, what am I? I make mediocre YouTube videos and I lead some group hikes, but like, what is that? And so that's been going down. And I'm also torn between this thing where it's like, carpe diem. I just want to do all the fun things and go on all the fun adventures, because I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So like, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die, maybe. And at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to save for retirement. But I don't even know if I'm gonna have a retirement, because I don't really know what my job is. It's all very strange. Okay, station 3, here we are, petrified stumps. These trees were buried by a very wet layer of sand and mud. They became soaked with water, dissolved minerals in the trunks. The minerals crystallized and hardened, turning trees to rock. Oh, here we go. Here's our first petrified tree. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like petrified wood. Okay, that was neat. That might be worth the stop. I'm gonna keep on going here. I don't know if that's a 40-year-old thing where it's like carpe diem, or if it's a cancer thing, but I'm just gonna keep blaming cancer. I think that's another, is that another petrified tree? No, just rocks. The other thing about my 40s that's been a little bit weird has been a lot of changes to my body. So yeah, like I'm missing a big chunk out of my boob thanks to cancer, whatever. But before cancer, I had like this lean, athletic, muscular body, a body that I took good care of. All right, we're here at growth rings. The average age of these petrified trees at the time of burial is estimated at 800 to 1,000 years, counting the ring growths in the stump. Okay, so I think this is a stump. Yep. Oh, that's cool. Cool, can you see the rings? How many times have I walked past something like this and just been blazing down the trail and not taking the time to stop and check it out? That is very cool. So cool. Okay, maybe my hike across the prairie is worth it. We'll see. I still have some more trail to hike. I don't think I'm the only woman in her 40s who has issues with her body. I think it's super common actually to realize that our bodies are changing and it's weird, and we can do our best with diet and exercise, but sometimes like there's no turning back to those jeans that I wore in 2010. Like those days are gone. My body is softer and fluffier, but I just climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and I'm about 15 pounds overweight. So I can still do hard things, and I can still challenge myself with the body that I have. And maybe I can't eat all of those chocolate chip cookies. Maybe I just need to eat one cookie, and maybe I need to be a little better about that, and I'm pretty sure I do. But going back to the cancer thing, I'm also on pills every day that I have to take for the next 5 to 10 years that cause me to crave sugar and gain weight. So it's like, what do you do? Welcome to your 40s. Okay, station 5, here we go. Socorro Buttes. The red-capped buttes to the east on hills are hills that once had coal beds within them. As erosion exposed the coal beds to air, they began to burn. Heat from underground fires changed the soft shale in the hillsides to Socorro. Okay, so I think it's talking about those buttes. Red-capped buttes. Maybe they're up there? I mean, there's a lot of buttes here. Let's just say they're all buttes. Great. Okay. That was somewhat underwhelming, but good to know, I suppose. So yeah, these are our bodies. They're capable of doing hard things, and maybe we just need to show them and show ourselves, because we are the owners of these bodies, just a little bit of love and compassion. Oh, I think we're headed down. I think this is a loop. I thought it was an out and back, but it appears to be a loop. Okay, so we're looping. Number 3, friendships. I just got back from leading a group trip in Alaska, and on Tuesday, so today's Sunday, on Tuesday I start another group trip in Yellowstone. So I had a week between trips, and I'm doing my best to introvert. And here we are, station 6, petrified stumps and trunks. Okay, these trees are preserved primarily as stumps and branchless trunks. Okay, so from right there, it just looks like a pile of rocks. But if you look at it from here, I think it looks more like a tree stump. Those are kind of stumpy, right? That's cool. Oh, and there's more rings. Yeah, you can see more rings. That's pretty neat. Okay, pretty cool, but I gotta get back on the road because my mom's gonna have dinner ready for me when I get home. I grew up in Bozeman, actually. Woo, there's a hole there. Oh, cool, here's another stump. Here's how friendships are evolving in my 40s, and I hope that they continue to evolve like this because it's been great. I have decided that I don't want to be friends with someone unless we connect on a deeper level. I'm not really interested in shallow and superficial friendships. I want friendships that matter. I want friendships with people who I can call in the middle of the night when there's an emergency. I want friendships with people who are going to walk beside me when I'm going through hard things. I want friendships with people who are going to turn the light on before I head into a dark room. Those are the kind of friendships that I want. I've realized that if those are the kind of friendships that I want, then that's the kind of friend I need to be. So that's what I'm doing. And one way that I'm cultivating those friendships, so once a quarter, I invite all my friends and acquaintances, people who are not necessarily friends, but people who I want to be my friends, and I invite them over to my house and we have lunch or we have tea and we chat and we have a good conversation and share a meal or some food. And it's good to be, it's good to like connect women with other women who might have more of a friendship connection. But it's also good for me to just open up my home and invite people over and say, this is me, this is how I live. We've been in a remodel for 2 years, like this is my life and I want to be your friend. So please please come into my home and let's share this meal together. Okay, we're at Station 7, the Bighorn Mountains. Yeah, you can't really see the Bighorn Mountains from here, but anyway, they're cool. So, mountains formed 70 million years ago. Da 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 da. How are mountains formed? Now you know. Okay, moving on. So, friendships. Yeah, they change. I think friendships get better with age. I think that we definitely have to talk about mom stuff in our 40s because, oh, this is cool. Okay, this is really cool. I'm gonna show you in just a second. I'm gonna get down here. I think this is what I drove all the way out here. All the way, it's like a half an hour detour. Okay, so you can't go in there because there's a fence, but check that out. Is a petrified tree. Petrified metasequoia trunk. Excavated to show greater detail. The diameter is 4.5 feet at the base, 3.5 feet at the top. Oh man, I wish I could go up there and check it out, but I don't think they want you to. That's why there's a big fence here, and I'm not going to be that person. That's pretty cool. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to talk about, I promise, is time management and like juggling kids, music, sports, husband. I don't wear Pioneer dresses and I'm not a trad wife, but I do enjoy some of those things. And maybe because I had a career that didn't let me do those things for a long time. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay, so managing my time, all those things, I have decided when it comes to my life, if it's not like an amazing hell yeah, then it's a hell no. If I'm not like super stoked about a project or a collaboration or working with someone on something or even like visiting someone or calling someone on the phone or talking to someone, when I'm not gonna do it, I don't owe people my time, my energy, and my effort. And if people are gonna like suck my energy and drain my battery, then it's a hell no. And that's just the way it is. Maybe that's rude, but also that's honest. Because right now, 100% of my energy and effort is going to my husband, my children, and our Hike Like a Woman community, especially women in our community who are going on these amazing outdoor adventures with me and who are like booking the trip and ready to commit to a life-changing adventure like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. So that's where my energy is. That is where my effort is. In the past couple months, I've turned down brand partnerships that would have paid me a lot of money. I've turned down speaking opportunities to share my story about cancer on stages in front of hundreds of people. So yeah, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no. And if we go back to the conversation that we just had about friendships, that goes with friendships too. And I'm gonna be super vulnerable right now because I'm just feeling like I need to just share this experience that I had and the story. And if you've been with me on this 3/4 of a mile walk through the prairie to look at old tree stumps, you've made it long enough. I feel like we're friends. So I just want to share this experience and this story with you because it might put that hell yeah, hell no into perspective. But I'm gonna get in my car and do it because it's super windy. Okay, so here's why, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no, applies to friendship as well. Before I climbed Kilimanjaro, there's a woman in my community who I hiked with a few times. Our kids are in similar activities, similar ages. I didn't really know her very well. I would say she was more of an acquaintance, but we went on a couple hikes before our Kilimanjaro climb, and she just was so interesting, and she's involved in this cool nonprofit that I was like, oh man, I would love to be part of that community and do what you do in this nonprofit. Anyway, she's just interesting and I really liked her. We went on a few hikes. I thought she was my friend. Then on our trip to Kilimanjaro, she kind of just distanced herself from the group. And I thought that's okay because she had brought a few friends and a family member with her, and they were just very close knit. And so I thought, that's great. You know, there's 24 women on this mountain. It's great when a smaller group forms because like it's all about connecting with each other, making new friends, and then also connecting with the environment and where we were on Kilimanjaro. So I just figured that the reason she was kind of isolating with her friends was because they just found that connection in a smaller group rather than a larger group, which is great and totally how it should be on my trips. The last day of the trip though, she got off the mountain really fast with her group of friends, and they actually left one friend behind and went to a hotel. So they didn't come back to the hotel to say goodbye to the group because we came down in 2 different vehicles at different times. And then they didn't come back to our hotel to say goodbye to our guides and porters for our celebration dinner, which I thought was kind of sad because I wanted to like share that final Kilimanjaro celebration with everyone who was on the trip. And then this group of four women just kind of left and did not say goodbye, didn't like wrap it up in a nice little bow. And that kind of made me sad that they didn't finish the hike like with us and celebrate with us. It was also an amazing celebration and just a great time to say goodbye to our guides and porters. Anyway, I get home and a couple weeks later, I noticed that a 1-star review of our trip to Kilimanjaro pops up, and I read this review and it's from this woman, and I'll share it right here because it's public so you can see what she wrote about me and about our trip. And instantly I just burst into tears. I was so sad that that was how she felt about the trip, and that was how she felt about me. And that review just stung. It just hurt my feelings. Like thinking about it right now even makes me feel sad about it. And so I was really sad for, I don't know, a couple weeks actually, just constantly thinking about this review and thinking about what she said about me, thinking about how she thought I was selfish and how she thought I was disrespectful and how she felt like I treated the women on this trip. And so I did some soul searching after a couple weeks of just being really sad about it. And I reached out to other women who I've led on trips, not just the Kilimanjaro trip, but for the last decade. I reached out to women who I consider to be friends, and then people who we haven't maintained a close relationship with after my trips, but people who are still, like, I shared an experience in the backcountry with them. And I was just like, hey, can you give me some honest feedback on me as a leader in the outdoors? I don't want you to sugarcoat anything. I want you just to be really honest and really real. And I just want you to, like, help me deconstruct this feedback that I received from one of my trips. And the feedback that I got was really fascinating, because what I realized from her 1-star review is that the negative comments and the negative feedback always sounds louder than the positive feedback and the positive comments and the positive reviews. Fast forward about a month, I'm getting ready to lead a trip to Alaska, and I'm doubting everything about myself because of that 1-star review. Like, I'm still replaying it over and over in my head. I'm still thinking about it, and I'm thinking about, how do I need to change so that I can show up to be a better outdoor leader in Alaska? It really affected me. In fact, the first couple days of that trip, I was not myself. I was in my shell. I was afraid to put myself out there. I was afraid to be vulnerable because I kept thinking back to this girl. So I'm getting ready to go to Alaska to lead a trip in just a few days. And all of a sudden I get an email from this woman, and the email basically says she'd like to get coffee and she would like to talk to me about what I can do to make our trips more positive. And that gutted me too, because I realized that our trips are not negative unless you come to our trip with a negative attitude. Then you're going to have a negative experience, and it's going to be a negative trip. Like, I can't control somebody else's emotions. I can't control somebody else's feelings. I'm Rebecca, and I realized I'm not for everyone. So I thought back to the Brene Brown quote that says something like, if you're not in the arena, I need to grab that quote because it's so good. I have it saved on my phone. Where is my phone? I think it's in this pocket. All right, I got it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's the quote. Okay, if you're not in the arena getting your ass kicked on occasion, I'm not interested in or open to your feedback. There are a million cheap seats in the world today filled with people who will never be brave with their own lives, but will spend every ounce of energy they have hurling advice and judgment to those of us who are trying to dare greatly. Their only contributions are criticism, cynicism, and fear-mongering. If you're criticizing from a place where you're not also putting yourself on the line, I am not interested in your feedback. I'm sharing this story with you because at times in our lives we all encounter people who want to put us down, people who are jealous of what we're doing. There are people who are in the cheap seats, who are not celebrating our success, who are not celebrating our achievements, who don't want to be on our team, but instead they want to criticize, they want to judge, and they want to destroy and ruin our reputation. I'm not interested in being friends with those kinds of people. I'm not interested in being friends with people who are negative. I'm not interested in being friends with people who can't be kind. And so I'm actually thankful for this 1-star review because it forced me to do a deep dive into my own soul and to figure out, what are Rebecca Walsh's values? How am I going to show up for the people in my community, the people in my life? How am I going to show up for the people who care about me? So I wish this woman well when I see her at school events, community events, children's sporting events. I'm going to show her kindness, but it also showed me that I have to protect and preserve my energy from people who can hide behind a 1-star review rather than pull me aside on the trail and say, hey, Rebecca, here's what I've noticed. Can we talk about it? Those are the kind of people who I want in my life. So there you go. You went on a hike with me. You listened to me rant and rave about friendships and body image and 1-star reviews. So I'm headed out. I'm gonna lead a trip in Yellowstone that starts in 2 days because Rebecca Walsh does not lead 1-star quality trips. Our trips are 5-star quality. And if you want to learn more about how you can join me for an outdoor adventure, go to our website, hikelikewoman.com. Thanks so much. See you next time.